Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut grand opening of Mad Villain Bistro Bed and Breakfast Bar Grill.
One of my favorite things about this series is that I always learn new things about the games that I'm looking at. I really thought that Days Gone was going to be a lot worse than it was, and I was kind of dragging my feet on this video. I was like, oh no, I don't want to have to watch Days Gone gameplay again. And as I started to watch not just the older gameplay that I really liked, but a lot of the new gameplay as well, I started to really enjoy the game that I was watching unfold in front of my eyes. And I wanted to get into the good before I get into the bad. And the good of the game is, simply put, it is an open world post-apocalyptic game. And it's pretty good, actually. The combat is a lot more close and intimate than I would have thought it was. There's some moments where you kind of get out of that open world section, kind of like you do in Mad Max, where you get out the car and you fight people in their bases or whatever. But here in Days Gone, it's a lot more appropriate, and the combat looks a lot better because it's not just that close quarter combat using your fists and weapons that you find throughout the world, but it's also shooting as well. And the shooting, it's really stripped from The Last of Us. So if you like The Last of Us, you're gonna like this game. I mean, it has like this 1-to-1 scale. It looks like it's a mirror copy of The Last of Us. And then I get to the open world aspect of it, the exploration, the off-road driving that you can do in your motorcycle. And then your motorcycle looks really cool. And I don't remember a game really beside Ride to Hell Retribution where the motorcycle was the main mode of transportation, and here it really excels. You going for starters on the street, and then going off-road and being able to really traverse the landscape that way, because you're in Oregon, so there's a lot of hills and valleys and forests, and it's really easy for you to navigate through that terrain because of that off-road dirt bike. It looks like a really good open world post-apocalyptic game. If you've watched any amount of Days Gone gameplay, you're probably going to already know what I'm going to talk about. It's the hordes. It's the combat with a large group of zombies. I really don't have that big of an issue with the zombies as a whole. I think that the zombies are really varied, and they're really well designed. There are the screamers that they can call the horde. There's obviously the regular zombies, and then there are these like childlike zombies that are really creepy, but they're small and they're smart and they're intellectual. So they understand, like, we can't take on this big human unless we really need to, and they usually are on the rooftops, and it's just this really weird and eerie. I like the variance with the zombies. It's just that variance all goes away when you fight the hordes, and it's just hundreds of zombies just running at you mindlessly, because they're obviously zombies. And they're running into your machine guns, they're running into bombs that you've placed. And I feel like the gameplay, it's deep when it comes to the hordes, but it's needlessly deep. Like, if the character, for instance, can outrun the horde of zombies, it's like, why wouldn't I just run, shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, instead of having to do all of this? Like, I don't get it. It's that type of zombie gameplay. The horde zombie gameplay is literally in every single zombie game that feels a little bit dated. That mass killing of just a bunch of zombies, it's gotten old to me, and it's definitely one of the worst things about the game that I've seen so far. And it's weird. It's like, I've seen really cool gameplay with hordes. I've seen, for instance, there's this part of a gameplay demo, I think at E3, where they use the horde to attack a group of humans where the horde and a camp of enemies are separated via like a dam, and your character, he blows up the dam, and that's how the zombies, they're really, really sensitive to noise, so they obviously hear the sound and they just go running out the camp, and the zombies, they clear out the camp. Like, that's cool. I want to use them more than have to fight them myself, because fighting the zombies, it just doesn't look that fun comparatively to literally everything else about the game. I mean, that's literally it. The hordes are the only aspect of the game that I was like really, really low on going into this video, and I still kind of am low on the hordes. But one of the things that I came out from this experience, from looking at all of the gameplay and all of the trailers, is the story. What Sony does with their first party games is they make sure that the story is going to be good. And what specifically Naughty Dog did with The Last of Us is that they made their gameplay a vehicle to help tell the story. The game is about specifically Joel and Ellie's cross-country travel to get to a specific destination. That's literally the story, but the gameplay helps tell that story even better, because you wouldn't get their personal struggles, their personal stripes without that story. And the same can kind of be said with Days Gone. I want to know specifically why the main character is doing certain things within that world. Is it because of he lost his wife, or is he trying to find his wife? Is she still alive? Why is he specifically, or why was he a part of a motorcycle crew? The main character seems like a really, really interesting character. I really, really want to discover more about this world, and specifically more about what's going on in relation to the main character of the game, because I think it's a really, really interesting world that Ben Studios has created, and I think that it's a really, really interesting plot that they've also fleshed out as well. And for me personally, I love what Ben Studios done. If you look at their history, they didn't really create a lot of big console release games. A lot of their games were kind of like adaptations of main PlayStation series games, and to see them finally get their main IP, their new IP that they made themselves for the PS4, Days Gone. Because if you don't know what Ben Studios is, they're the guys that made Uncharted Golden Abyss on the PS Vita. They're the guys that made Resistance Retribution on the PSP all those years ago. So they've made a lot of like handheld games for Sony. They haven't made a full console game yet. They also made, I think, Bugsy 3D, but that was like in the 1990s. I'm so excited for this game. I'm so happy that Ben Studio got a chance, and that they're taking full advantage of that chance, and Days Gone looks like a really, really good game. And it sucks that it comes out on Avengers Endgame, like one of the worst days for that game to come out, but I'm also very excited for that game. I'm gonna go see Avengers Endgame, and I'm also gonna go play Days Gone. This has been 24. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm excited for Days Gone. I hope you are too, and I will see you next time.